Good evening, brothers, sisters, and gender norm resistors. It's time for some more Escape Memoirs with me, your host, Ollamh. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, we are getting back into it. We're still trying to escape the bunker, which is where so the story so far from just the memoirs section, we were hired by, we were hired by somebody to get a golden nugget off of this very rich family, because the original crew that he sent in, one of them got nicked. Their plan got found out, so we had to go in and finish the job. Now, once we got the golden nugget, our employer promptly had us arrested, mostly because he had somebody on the inside. So when they arrested us, they took the they took the golden nugget into custody, and somebody on the inside swapped out a fake gold nugget for the real gold nugget. So the employer got the gold nugget, and we were sitting in a prison cell. But thankfully, they had a plan that they're like, no, we're not going to let them just rot. We're going to go ahead and get them out of prison as well. Well, we'll enable them to escape. We will kind of give them the opportunity to try to escape. So we got out of our jail cell. We actually got out of the jail down into the emergency bunker that is attached to the police department, and we're trying to get ourselves out of that for now. So with all that said, let's go ahead and jump into the game, shall we? So yeah, we've actually done we've actually gone a fair ways. We found the fuel for this thing, but now we need to figure out what manual this is. So component compatibility type. All right, so let's see here. Fuel injectors. FI3, FI1, or F2. Okay, so we're looking to see if are they short and stubby? Are they long and curved, or are they tall boys? I'm going to say those definitely look like tall boys. I think those are the tall ones. I'm not really sure where the fuel injectors. I mean, yeah, those look like just the tall ones with the thick bolt on the top. Yeah. Okay, so those are FI2s. So fuel injectors, FI2s, so it cannot be a WR or a ZR. So, all right, let's go ahead and say fuel injectors are FI-2. Now, heat exchangers, Hex 1 or Hex 2. So we need to look. Okay, that is very obviously a Hex 2, because you do not get to see the coil, and the wires come up from the bottom, or from the middle rather than the ends. All right, so Hex 2. And the air filters. All right, where are the air filters? Oh, there's the air filters. Okay. So they're not the AF1As. That's for sure. They are kind of short. They have, looks like, holes on the inside. Okay, so here's the question. Are they domed at the top, coming to a curve in? Are they, okay, so they look like they're kind of domed at the top, but a wide dome with a gentle curve in. So, yeah, looks like, boy, I really can't tell. Let's see if they're single band or double band. They look kind of like single band, almost like kind of like a cap, almost like a screw-on cap. So they are definitely not those or those. Let's see, that has a double band, so I'd be saying that they are AF4As. Air filter 4As, and then we have the safety expansion valves, which are very obviously the first ones. So the Sev 1. All right. Is there anything else we need to take a look at? Pump transmission types. Well, we've got what looks like a big gear, a big flywheel. Big flywheel with a small flywheel, so it's definitely rubber. Okay. Okay, so rubber pulley belt. Engines with 4 cylinders should not use the belt as transmission method due to large torque. Okay, so it can't be a 4-cylinder. All right, so it's got to be a 5 or 6. It's got to be a 6 or an 8. So FI2 could be okay. Heat exchange 2. So we are currently looking at SA2, an SA2, a BR2, a WR doesn't use the FI2s. The ZR doesn't use a Hex 2 or a... okay, so it could be the XR. It could be the YR. It could be the TR. Or TR1, but not the TR2 because TR2 doesn't use the Hex 2. All right, so the air filter, we have AF4A, so SA2 does not use that. The BR2 does. The XR does not. The YR does not. And the TR1 does. Transmission, we have a rubber pulley, so BR2 can use a rubber pulley, and the TR1 can use a rubber pulley. Safety valve, SEV1. BR2 does use it, so does the TR1. So I'm not seeing BR2, TR1. Okay, so what is the capacity for this? 60 liters. So it has a capacity of 60 liters, which the TR1 does not have a 60 liter capacity, but the BR2 does. So it's got to be a BR2 then. All right, so we're looking at a BR2 model. So if we're looking at that, so now we know that the overpressure needs to be on, the exhaust bypass needs to be on, the float limiter needs to be off, hydraulic pump needs to be off, and the carburetor phaser needs to be off for the or when we're doing the startup. When we're starting the engine, it needs to be set for that. And then when we go to turn on the generator fully, we need the overpressure off, exhaust bypass needs to be off, float limiter needs to be on, hydraulic pump needs to be on, and the carburetor phaser needs to be off. And the clutch release RPM so the RPMs need to be 1250. All right. Okay. But we also need a battery. So there's got to be a room or something that we haven't been in yet. Oh, that's right. There is one that's got a padlock on it, the storage, that we haven't been in yet. Hello, what are you? Only use these padlocks with the default combination of 02468. Okay. Well, that's handy. So 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Huzzah! All right, we have a note. Since you seem to have a lot of experience with these unconventional security devices, could you try to unlock this one for me? Some guys from the military delivered it while I wasn't here, so I have no idea how to open it. Okay, is there like a reset button on this? Because I think I screwed this up. Ah, okay. So if you go 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, we're back to the start. Okay. And we have a frequency there that we're going to need. And that one is oh, Oh, that's locked to that. Okay. All right, so I think we need to get this one to over here. That does not look right, does it? Because now we're stuck in... Okay. Okay, so we need to come down here. All right, but there's nothing that's pointing to that one. I mean, except for this one. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. All right. So this one would have to be a 2 down from here. 2, 1, 2. So if we can get to this one right here, we'll be good. All right, so if we say 2, nope, that was incorrect. But we might have stumbled onto it. 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Boom. All right, signal analyzer. Okay. Do we need to come back to where the radio was? All right. Again, we needed the green. Yes. Hello there, inmates. Welcome. We may need to get some power to... Is there a... Is there a... So that looks like it's wired up to this container here. So far it's been okay. I've been staying the hell inside because today it was like, I think it got up to 96. Right, small used to detect radio signals. Right, but Galarian. Right, the Galarian army. I think that's the army that we were like trying to find out stuff from before. Okay, so radio modulations listed below are reserved for Iglarian military communications. They are not permitted to be used for any other purpose. Okay. Let's take a look at our little map here and see if there's anything in the... Okay, there is no specific power thing going to the storage. So there's got to be some way of us finding out what that unlock code frequency is. Is there anywhere where this is gonna start kind of like going off? I don't see anything here. All right, is there like a power button or something? Because it doesn't seem like this is getting any, that this has any power going to it. Either that or we have not actually turned this thing on. Okay, this is kind of confusing. All right, what is Class C communications protocol? That's kind of sounds important. So I can't help but feel like this is the only, this is the one place that we've seen a transmitter. But the transmitter's not, like, doing anything. I mean, it is sending an unlock code, an unlock thing. I mean, if we could bring that receiver over here or boost the power to this. I kind of feel like it should be, you know, it should be doing something. That is really just... Am I missing something that tells us how to use this, or at least how to turn it on? Something? Doesn't seem to be anything else in here. Back here. I mean, it does look like... Okay, so alpha is used by agents in covert operations. Mu beta is used for Army air control and navigation. Eta alpha is used for long distance transfer. So Lambda Eta is used for Class C communications. Okay, I get the feeling that I'm missing something critical here. Like either there's not power coming to this, or we're missing something here. Radio frequency modulator reader can probably use one of those special types. That note with the radio modulation seems to have the same symbols. Okay, can you let me fucking read it at least? Give me time to read? Jeez. All right. Do I need to... I mean, this is very obviously, like... But it's not doing the thing. It's not doing the thing. It's doing nothing. Oh, hey, there we go. Okay, so the note with the radio modulation seems to have the same symbols as the radio receiver. I bet I can figure out which two signals forms make up the different combinations. Well, this is Lambda Eta and Eta Alpha. So the Eta is kind of curved. So the Lambda has to be kind of that sharp drop. U beta is up and at like sharp angles, whereas beta that is more elongated and then Okay, so beta has to be the... has to be the sharp tops, but the sides... So the long slanted sides are, yeah, are the whatever the U with a line down the middle of it is. But, so yeah. But I'm not getting any kind of a fucking signal here. Like, how do I turn this thing on? I do not get how to turn this thing on. Like, this we should be able to turn this on, right? Do I need to, like, does it need to be closed to be... Like, it's not doing the thing. Like, that's definitely... Okay, so that is definitely what is out there. I'm going to try something. So we just saved. Let's go to the main menu and see if we can't, like... See if maybe something just didn't trigger right. This is getting really frustrating. All right. Hang on a moment here. I'm going to go ahead and take a look and see what... Well, the transmit is this switch. Oh. Maybe? Ah, yes. Ah, okay, okay. So we are 200, 300. So 350 is right. And it's a square and then a drop off. That's right. I forgot there was a button to do that. Okay. So a square with a drop off. The drop off is lambda. So, oh, okay. So we were right. It was 350. Oh, okay. So there's the battery. All right. So now we're ready to start this. So we've got fuel in it. We activate the choke. We engage the clutch. We throttle should be just about at least half. So there's that. So we say table 1, which for this particular one should be overpressure on, exhaust bypass on, everything else needs to be off. Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that, because yeah, I was just like being a dumbass. Okay. So with all that, we've got it to table 1. Starter motor. Then we say engine start once it's reached up to that. All right. Starter motor. Okay. When the starter motor has stabilized, press engine start. The engine starts up, perform the following steps to connect the motor shaft to the... press engine start. All right. Big choke. Set it to. All right. So the pressurizer off. Hydraulic pump on. Float limiter on. Hydraulic bypass off. Get this up to 1250. All right, I don't. What is going on here? Okay, so that's all good. Put it on the starter motor. When the starter motor has stabilized, press engine start. If the generator starts up, there we go. Okay, so that's set at 1250. Choke. Because that is very loud, so we want the overpressurizer off, exhaust bypass off. We want the float limiter on, the hydraulic pump on. That's set at 1250. So, release clutch, output okay. Right, it does make sense that you can't, if you have the choke pulled up, it can't go very far, very fast. Okay, so this one and this one would get us this, right? Because that V would create this portion. No, it wouldn't. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we've got the triangle there because of this and then the down. We've got that portion, but we don't have the stand up. All right. Okay, so kind of the F. I think that would do it. Huzzah! As simple as that. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say, I'm like, why? Scenario complete. So what happens now? Just we're moving. We have escaped. So we managed to escape the jail. We have escaped. So we are now ready to go on to escape memoirs. I think it's the odd questionable side stories, which sounds weird, to say the least. So we'll go ahead and move on to this one then. So this one was 2023. We are apparently going down into the sewers again? To whom it may concern, we here at the International Syndicate for Criminal Theft and Robbery wish to congratulate you on being selected to be invited to our job interview. Due to your pedigree and previous accomplishments, you were chosen amongst hundreds of candidates to join our new job interview program. Your first task will be to find our secret office, which is hidden somewhere in the underground part of the old abandoned wastewater treatment facility in Bayer District. Good luck! Well, thanks for wishing me luck, but okay, so they do give us like this code type thing and telling us, okay. Anything on the back? No. Do we... Oh, we do not have an inventory this time. I am too, because it's like, that was kind of like their thing. Okay, so it's all about something special about a triangle. And if we look at the numbers here, so if we look at the numbers, like there's only two number ones, so I don't think number one would be one of them, but two, there are 3 2s. There are only 2 3s. There are only 2 4s. There's 3 5s, so we've got a 2 and a 5 that are tripled. Only 2 6s. Only 2 7s. There are 3 8s. So 2 5 8. And there are 3 9s. So 2 5 8 9. No. Wait, what are you? You look like a... You look like a cassette player or a player of some sort. I don't know if 258 was right or not, but okay, audio reel, yes. That's what we need here. I was gonna say, it's like, it looks like it's got the reels and then the tape reader.
Welcome. Let's jump right into the practical portion of our job interview program. Since you have already made it down here, it means you're more competent than most of the people who seek to join our prestigious organization. Now, all that is left to do is to give you a small hint to help you on your way. You will find it on this audio reel.
Okay. Triangle. Oh, okay. So triangle up. Okay, so we have the triangle, and from the triangle, I'm guessing we go up, right, down, and up at an angle, and up to the right. Okay. So from the triangle, it would be 2, 5, 8, 2, 3. Easy peasy, especially when you give me the answer. Okay. All right, so we have weights, and we have like certain ties. All right. There's another weight over here. Okay, and then we have blue, brown, green. All right, so yeah, we've got all of these, like, all right, well, the yellow and the green are at the same level. The red is all the way at the top. Blue is next. Then it's yellow, green, and orange. I didn't see a brown one, though. Unless the brown one is like all the way at the bottom. Okay, so what do I need to do with these? I mean, obviously we need to do something with some weights. Okay. So we could, there is another one there, so that would get it down into there. But this one only has... Oh no, there is another... There's another spot up there. I can't reach it. All right. So what we need to do is we need to take you off and put on the other double one in order to get that down far enough that we can put a single one on here. And then we can say, take this double one off, put a single one on, and that should get it down into the hole. So now we've got that, and if we can find a straight bar, if we can get a straight bar, we could put that through there and then take all the weights off, and it should lift it up. But the question is where do we find a straight rod? Didn't see anything like that out here. Hello, Mr. Birdie. Is there like a long metal stick out there somewhere that you could like toss down here, please? Wait, are you the guy that... Don't tell me that the guy who hired me is Odin and he's got his fucking ravens looking after me again. What if that one is all the way up? I don't see a brown... flag or towel or anything like that. All right, that's nice, but that wasn't really what I was looking for. That's nice and everything, but it's not really helpful. All right, let's take a look at this one. There seems to be multiple different colored rags around the room. The colors match the sliders. Maybe the relative height of the rags is used to deduce the correct well, that's aha. I still didn't see where the brown rag was. But apparently it was between the orange and the yellow. Okay. All right. Still need like a metal rod or something. Aha! A metal rod! What a coincidence! It looks like it's been used for this purpose before. All right, we need to bring you down, way down, so that we can snag this one off. And all that for a wrench. Okay. Let me guess. Wrench is needed for that. Danger. Danger of collapse. Gas leaks. Entry is forbidden. Warning. Flammable stuff. Okay, so you are a palindrome. You're palindromes. So 76. So 32 or 20, oh, 33. Okay. 64 divided by 2 is 32. So 16. All right? Or maybe I'm sorry, why did that have an Oh, because there were two numbers that were needed. There was 16. So yeah, 16, then 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Right. Okay. Now you are giving us nothing. All right, sliding puzzles. We have dials. Audio reel 2. Seriously, Frank.
Congratulations on making it this far. By getting here, you have shown exceptional competence and skills. While there are still many challenges ahead of you, I'm sure you have what it takes to overcome them. And remember, when you find yourself up against a wall, the answer might lay just behind it. There is always light at the end of the tunnel.
Right, but sometimes that light is a fucking train. Right, so when you find yourself up against a wall, look, sometimes there might be something behind it. All right, let's take a look at this reel and see if there's anything unusual on it. Doesn't look like it. All right. I want to see something. Is that audio? All right. So do we just get no clues as to the last one? Unfortunately, there was not, but it's only two numbers, so... Really, they made a painting of... Oh my goodness. So, yeah, this one was chained anyway. All right. What are you? You are a 4 number. All right. Well, let's take audio reel 3 back around.
Since you have made it this far, you must have phenomenal lock-cracking skills. However, not all locks can be cracked. In those cases, you need to be able to figure out the lock's combination based on the victim's preferences. For example, people often tend to set the combinations on their safes and suitcases based on their birthdays or their loved ones' birthdays. Or sometimes they use the year when their favorite painting was painted.
Right.
Or maybe they use the best vintage of their favorite wine as the combination. You never know.
All right. Let's pick up reel 3 and inspect it. All right. Doesn't look like there's anything on this reel. This painting was painted in 1865 by a young artist who was known as an eccentric genius. According to the artist, the painting is commentary on how we believe society's overuse of boring brick buildings is killing creativity and the joy of living. Painting went unappreciated for some time until it was rediscovered by the famed art critic Joan Gibier. All right, but you are specifically saying B, G, E, B, B, A, and I. And what was the date? It was 1865. All right. So we have... Oh, it doesn't have power, right. Okay, but... All right. This is going back through to there. Comes up to here, but we can't turn that on because of that. Okay.
Yeah, tried that. Okay. So 1865. Hard to tell with... All right. Let's see here. Let's get some hints up here. Seems to be a lot of rust on the box and the number of squares. Maybe the squares can be moved to match the rust pattern. That's what I was thinking. Oh, right. The rust on the outside of the box should continue the rust pattern. That looks like it continues to there and that there. Aha. Okay. I want to remind everyone to be careful with all these old rusted pieces of crap. If the system is even barely working, you shouldn't touch any of the pressure balancing units. Okay, so... but you give us that, so we need... That's right. This one needs to be balanced. That's right. And then balanced and... like that. Haha. So now we can turn on the power. So now we can come over here and these switches should be working. So B, G, E, B, B, A, I. All right. So that's still locked. That's locked. The audio room is combination locks using wine vintage. There are some, maybe there are some bottles around here somewhere. Have we seen any wine bottles? I don't remember seeing any wine bottles either. Man, of all the times I would love to have a frickin' flashlight. Aha! 1950. Sneaky little bastards. All that for a note. All right. Rajasan Corporation Maxis Safe opening procedure. The state of the buttons on the top left corner must match the buttons on the bottom right corner. If a button has a circle on it, the button is on the left side. The button on its left side must be in. Okay. If there are two horizontally adjacent buttons with solid symbols on them, the buttons below them must be in. Oh, good gods. Okay. So, if there's a circle, the button to the left must be in. If there are two horizontally adjacent buttons with solid symbols, then the buttons below them must be in. The middle row must have exactly two buttons which are in. Oh no, sorry. The circle to the left must be in. The middle must have exactly two. All right, we've got that. If there are three buttons on the bottom row, the middle one must be in. At least one button with a square must be in. The button with a solid triangle on it and the button with the solid circle on it must be in opposite states. That's true. Out of the buttons with hollow symbols on them, an even number of them must be in. Okay, so we need one more of the hollow buttons in. So top right and bottom, so the top left and bottom right must be in the same state. So that would mean that these two, we can't do one of those in. All right. So we're good so far. So we need one more hollow one in. If the button with a large hollow triangle is on it is in, then the button with a small circle must also be in. A small triangle must be in. The number of buttons with squares on them which are out must be exactly 0. So 0 squares. state of the button with a solid circle on it must not match the state of any adjacent buttons. Right. So let's see here. Top left and bottom right must be in the same state. They are. 3 solid circles. Three. Oh my God. All right, let's see here. So if a button has a circle on it, the button left must be in. There are 2 horizontally adjacent solid symbols. Then the symbol buttons below them must be in. Middle row must have exactly 2 buttons. Oh, middle row, which are in. Out of the buttons that with solid symbols on them, an odd number of them must be out. Okay, well, 1's out. That's an odd number. At least 1 button with a square on it must be in. The button with a solid triangle on it and the button with a solid circle on it must be in opposite states. They are. Out of the buttons with hollow symbols on them, an even number of them must be in. Okay, well, we've got 2 of them in, so that is even. If the button with the large hollow triangle is in, then the button with the small circle on it must also be in. Small triangle must be in. Number of buttons with squares on them that are out must be exactly 0, so that one had to go in. The state of the button with a solid circle on it must not match the state of any adjacent buttons. That looks right, doesn't it? Oh, wait, no. Let's see, now okay. There we go. I was gonna say, it's like the only one that wasn't fitting was the even number of hollow emblems. All right, so that key should go in here. See, we got to it about the same time, Christina. All right, so... what am I doing? Okay, so there's got to be something that's going to tell us the right combination for that. I don't think there's anything else back here. Yeah, I think everything down here needs some serious maintenance. Like this is just not okay. So these two I think we need to figure it out by the sound. Each button seems to make a distinct sound. Didn't one of those audios have... Oh, okay. Okay, so we need to listen to, I think it was audio reel 3.
Since you have made it this far, you must have phenomenal lock-cracking skills. However, not all locks can be cracked. In those cases, you need to be able to figure out the lock's combination based on the victim's preferences. For example, people often tend to set the combinations on their safes and suitcases based on their birthdays or their loved ones' birthdays. Or sometimes they use the year when their favorite painting was painted. Or maybe they use the best vintage of their favorite wine as the combination. You never know.
All right, I think I've got it. I think I know the sounds that we need to find. So that one's just a long squeak. That one's a clunk. All right. All right, so I think it's this one, this one. Man, that is kind of annoying. Especially since we have to come all the way back here just to listen to it.
Since you have made it this far, you must have phenomenal lock-cracking skills. However, not all locks can be cracked. In those cases, you need to be able to figure out the lock's combination based on the victim's preferences. For example, people often tend to set the combinations on their safes and suitcases based on their birthdays or their loved ones' birthdays. Or sometimes they use the year when their favorite painting was painted. Or maybe they use the best vintage of their favorite wine as the combination. You never know.
All right. So the longest one is first. So it sounds... Okay, so that's the third. So I think 1, 2, 3. Okay. So... Yeah. Hey, my ears did it. Okay. That looks kind of weird. And slightly disturbing. Uh-huh. Well, which one's right? Okay, so there's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a 5 by 5 grid. Right. So like, all right. I'm sorry. Oh, wait. Okay. All right, and this is our key. So we're looking for a circle with a hexagon in it. We're looking for a triangle with a half circle, a cloud type thing with an X in it, a circle with a 4-pointed star, and this jagged type cloud with a square. All right. That tells us what we need to know. So we need to find where those intersect. So a circle with a star is the top line, 4th in. And a triangle inside of that. No, we need a triangle with a half moon. A circle with a hexagon. So second row is second in. And the 4-part cloud with the X. So the third is all the way over. Fourth one is let's see here. Right, is the third one in, because it's that jagged cloud type thing with a square. And the last one would be a triangle with a half circle, so it's the last one. Huzzah! Open both the damn doors! Alright. Off, on, offent, on. Reverse of not off. All right, so on would be off, and offent or not off would be on. The inverse of not unoff. So not unoff would be off. On, not this one, this one. Opposite of not unon. So that one would be off. Inverse of not opposite off. So not opposite cancel each other off, so inverse of off, which is on. Not un, anti, inverse off. Fuck your goddamn grammatic logic. Oh my god, that's just... That is taking grammatic arithmetic to the extreme. Warning, watch your head while operating the bridge. Basically, it comes down to counting them. If it's an even number of nots or antis or inverse or whatever, they cancel each other out. All right, what do you, what? There's too much water. Well, I will agree with that. All right. Okay, so you will be down this way. Oh, I see. So then we say this way. All right, so we need you... No, this way. Ha! You guys got some really broken ass shit up in here. Valve handle components. Okay. All right, so we have... All right, so I need a green. All right. Okay, so I say take a... You have that. What do you have? And I need what? 4 valve handles? All right. So if I take you and say... What if I... Okay. How do we put you guys together? That's the big question. All right, looks like we only need 3. I don't know from which direction we need to organize this stuff. Okay, so there's that. So we've got that going to a green. So if we say, take a look at you. So we need a green socket. Green socket to green socket. And then if we take you, we've got that one. Okay. So we need to go from a yellow socket. We can go from a yellow socket to a red square. Red square to this guy. Let's take all of the yellow sockets out. All right. So we could go from a yellow socket to a blue, from a blue to there, and then this one. Boom. All right, so we need a green socket. Now, can we take you off? All right, so we must not be able to use this one, because this one would need to go over here. All right. We can get it to a purple, purple to a red, and then red to there. course, we could just say, take this one here and just do you like that. Okay, so now we need to go purple. Purple in. Well, we can also use a purple to a purple, which may be what we need to do. So now we've got got it to a red square. Okay. And you are what are you? Well, we could have pulled that out. That's nice. So we do still have one more. We do still have one more wrench or valve handle. So the question is where do we need the fourth valve handle? Or do we need as much torque as possible? Because if we need as much torque as possible, then we would need those longer. That's not what it looks like. All right. So that comes up to about middle there. If we extend it out. Okay, so it does come up to the exact same. That's right to there. Yeah, like I said, I don't know where this fourth one would go. Oh, yeah, the water level is looking way down. Oh, so that's what we're doing, is we're draining the water. Okay. I wasn't even listening for that. All right. Hop off the ladder and... Okay. Well, that's kind of a curious symbol.
have a gear. But where does the gear go? That's the question. We can apparently turn that, which is great. Okay, let's put the gear here for now. I don't see that doing anything. Oh wait, we can come up here. Ah. Ramps. Oh. That's where we need gears. Oh, okay. So each of those is a different color. So that one's this one is white. This one is blue. And we have another blue? That's just a little confusing. Wait, no, we get out over here. Yeah, we've got white, red, and blue. All right, so we need at least one more gear. So I'm guessing that's going to turn the gears. And we need to get them in just the right order. Anything red? Well, see, now this one has some rust on it. Either some rust on it or it was really badly painted blue. And there's another gear. All right. Okay, see, this one's got the same rust pattern. All right, so now that we've got all of the gears in place, I think, or at least enough gears in place, because I don't think we can we put
I mean, we could put gears like that, but I think that would jam it up. So now we need to figure out what that... Oh, notice that. So there are little notches or little indicators on there. So white needs to, okay, so let's take a look at this here. Let's say there's this on a circle. White, red, and blue. All right. So white is in the correct position. Let's see if we can find another valve. Yes. Okay. So red is in the right spot. Both of the blues are. So maybe we are missing one more gear? Either that or we're missing another valve. I'm pretty sure this one's, yeah, this one's in the right place. Wait, no, this one's supposed to be over here. Red's supposed to be over there. And then blue's supposed to be straight down. Get a little bit more light. I would take a glow stick at this point. Oh, there's another. Okay, so there's got to be another white one as well. Right? I mean, it does say that I did just get an achievement, so maybe those gears are already... Oh, the gears are working. Okay, cool. To reach the end, you need to push forward, find a path, and see the unseeable. Well, that is going to have to wait until tomorrow because we are all out of time for today. So, yeah. We are well on our way to joining this strange organization that apparently employs thieves. Which is good for us because we're kind of, we kind of got, you know, kind of got screwed over. Though it did kind of sound like the guy who hired us for the original job might be part of this organization. So the whole thing might just be a big test to see if we qualify. But yeah. So we've got a color number thing here to start off with tomorrow. But for now, my brain is pudding. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're new here, consider prodding that subscribe button. Don't forget the top link in the description down below will take you to our fourth wall page where we have all kinds of merch like our Fallout-inspired t-shirts, our South Park-inspired mugs, and much more. Now, if you want to be kept up to date when we go live, you can ring the bell, but also check out the social media links down below because YouTube isn't great about notifying you guys when I go live. It's everything from the Facebook page all the way to the permanent invite for the Discord server where I make sure to notify you guys of when we go live. For example, tomorrow at midnight, we'll be back with more Escape Memoirs, and then Monday at 8 p.m., we'll be doing something different. All that so that you can stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions. Cheerio!